Okay, good afternoon team. My name is Jordan Ojeda, as you may know, and I'm Forsocom developer here at Nubic. In this opportunity, I'm gonna introduce you PMD. So in order to do that, I'm going to do through this agenda, introduction, a quick introduction, when I'm going to explain you basically what PMD is and what it's useful for, support the languages, PMD and the working suite, how PMD works with, I'm gonna show you a quick demo there. Advantages of using it, and then a conclusion, and then you will have a quiz space where you will be able to ask some questions, and if I can, I will be answer them. So PMD, well, PMD is a code analyzer, so in that way you can use it to verify if your code follows good standards and good practices. By running it, you can do things like bug detection. You can possibly or detect things that could be bugs. Like for example, if you have try catch empty try catch statement, or even if you have death code. Like for example, if you at the very beginning you thought that you will be using a variable, but at the end you are not using it. It happens sometimes. Suboptimal code, when for example you declare a write with initial memory that at the end you are not using. Overcomplicated expression, like when you have unnecessary if, or things like for example a loop for, when you could use while instead, a while loop, or even duplicated code. This tool can detect all these kind of things, and it's helpful because in that way you can correct it. You don't need to go through all the code looking for them. You can use this, and then based on the report of this tool you can fix them. So what about the languages? I mean, these tools have to be a set of languages that are supported. So it happens that there are a lot, like C#, C++, C++, Java, Perl, PHP, Scala, and many others. By the way, and Apex, which is great, right? Um, but it's not the only good news. It happens that Working Suite already include this kind of feature, so it's amazing, right? Now what? Better, right? Just kidding. Uh, so under this context, PMD is a set of rules that you can use for Apex code inspection. So basically, you can select some classes, triggers, or anything like that, and you can scan it using Welkin, which already include this feature. So working with this tool can be described by 3 steps. So first, rule definition. Basically, you will have to define the rules that you want to run. For example, if you want to use just a specific set of rules, for example, if you are interested in the use of I don't know, maybe conventional names, you can run just that rules or just the associated rules. Then you need to select your files. Basically, as I said, you can select like 2 classes. For example, let's say that you want to scan the classes that you did. You can select those classes and run that feature over those classes or those trigger, or what you need to run, what you need to verify. um, and finally, you will need to know how to use the report, because at the end, if this tool will report you something, and you will be in charge of correct the issues. Basically, you need to understand the errors, or basically the messages that that report give you, in order to go through your code and fix the problems that you could have. So let's see how it works. So in order to do that, I'm gonna use walking. I have a really complex class, as you can see here, just a basic one, um, with some bad practices, let's say. Uh, so I'm gonna use PMD to see what happened here and how we can improve this piece of code. So the first thing that we need to do here is just define our set rules. So in order to that, I'm gonna go here, tools, and then um, you need to select that option. It's called PMD Apex Rule Configuration. So from here, basically you can create a new rule, a new set of rules. As you can see here, you can use a new MP rule set, or you can select from a template that Welcome Suite include, or if you are using Climate template, which is an application also related to this kind of thing, scanning your code, you can use this template as well. But for now, I'm gonna use an MP set rule. So when you select that, you can see all the possible rules that you can run over Apex. So basically, you can select the ones that you need, and then you can configure them here. So for example, let's say that we don't want if statement without braces. So we're going to click on this. I'm going to check that, and then we can configure. For example, we have the priority here. We can change the priority. So let's say 4, something like that. The message, let's leave it as it is because it's okay. We can define even exception if we need to, and some other parameters that depends on the validation. So some other we have some others parameters here, but let's select just this one just to test. So then once we have our rule set defined, what we need to do is just save it. So in order to do that, well, as you can see, you need to put some parameters like the name and the description. So in order to do that, you just need to click in the rule set and you will see those fields here. Basically, we're gonna call it testing, and then we need to put a description here so we can see testing. We can put testing there. Now I should be able to save it. Let's see. We just need to select a location. I'm going to overwrite this one, for example. Let's create another one. Yeah, let's replace it. Okay, so now that we have our rule set created, we just need to specify the location of the rule set that we want to use. So in order to do that, we just need to go here, tools, option, and here we have to go to external tools, PMD, and go here and select the file that we just created. Shows this one, yeah. Okay, and then okay. Basically, this will be here, so we can run that rule set whenever we need without modifying this. This is gonna be like a configuration here. So okay, we can click on OK, and now we just need to select this class and run the tool. So in order to do that, you just need to right click here. You will see scan with PMD, and this is basically the report that we get. So as you can see, I have an error based on the rule set that I defined. If I click here, I'm going exactly to the line that is violating that rule, and well, the error is associated to the fact that we don't have the braces here. So let's try to fix that. Okay, so we can save it, and we can run it again to see what happened. As you can see, the error is fixed based on the rule set that I defined. Let's try some others so you can see some other examples. So for example, if I go here, in this time, since we already have created our rule set, we can open it and modify it. So we can select our file here. Let's see, for example, that we don't want to use this is test seal all data, because at the end it's about practice. So we check it. We leave it like priority 1, for example. That's okay. What else we could do here? Security, performance, SQL in loops. We have many of them. Basically here we can see all the ones that are supported by Apex at this moment. This one, for example. Okay, let's save it to see over the same file. Yes. We'll run it again to see what happens. As you can see, two new errors were detected. Let's try to fix them again. Hit save, and we run it again. Great. So in that way, we can this tool can guide us to lead us to a code that comply with good practices and avoid possible issues and things like that. Also, you can configure this PMD. You can some global configurations in order to see them. You can go here. For example, you can run PMD automatically before any build. So let's try this. For example, let's put some of these changes back. And I'm going to try to build the code. And as you can see, I have some issues related to those rules. You can see here. So in that way, unless you will see like you have some error, and visually it's a little more impacting in that way. So probably if we can make a team follow good standard, we can do that. We can configure PMD in that way, so you won't want to leave your code like that because it looks ugly, to be honest. So okay, this is basically what it does. Of course, you can configure your own set of rules based on the template. Let's check the standard ones. Basically, there are some pre-selected verifications there. Also, as I said, you can put the sections. Like for example, if you put something like this is a regex expression. So basically, in this way, you will skipping it in the case that you want. In this case, it will be for all. So yeah, this is basically what it does. This tool. So let's go back to our presentation. Here. Okay, so as you could see, the advantages. Well, we don't need to uh, even talk about advantages because they are obvious. Good practices. They enforce you to follow good practices when it comes to coding. Unification, since if, for example, if you are working with a team, all of them will need to follow those practices, those good practices. So at the end, the code is gonna be, let's say, similar in that sense. Flexibility in the sense that you will be able to change your rule set. So for example, let's say that there is a rule that you don't want to apply. In that case, you can just disable that rule and run the other ones. And also, obviously, it can avoid future bugs in the sense that you are following good practices, and so you can avoid things like try catch, as I said at the beginning, like try catch with nulls, or you can um, avoid situations that can cause confusion after some more line of code and things like that. So in that way you can avoid future bugs. So basically this is what it is. Let's see. I could say that I can tell that this tool is something that we can adopt easily, especially because we use the working suite as our main ID. So since this tool, since this ID already includes this tool and it's easy to use, I don't see any problem to adopt it, and I think it's gonna be easy. And yeah, we can take advantage of these tools to follow good practices, which at the end is good. Something that we should adopt, as I said, basically because in that way we can avoid those future bugs. We can make the code that we do a little more, let's say, standardized. We can in that way we can facilitate, let's say, the work for other developer that that eventually needs to tackle something that you started, for example. um, and I would say that something that we will be grateful and proud to adopt, because in that as I said, this tool will allow you to detect previous bug, and that's good. And also because it will be easy for you to understand a code that wasn't developed by you. And proud of it because we are, in that way we will follow good practices and our code is going to be a little more clear. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I don't know if you have any, don't hesitate to ask me. You can use, I guess, the comments or the chat, or maybe just knock my door. Let me know. Bye.